You're listening to Health Professional Radio. My name is Wayne Buckler, and today I'm joined by Nigel Spence, the CEO of ChildFund Australia. Nigel joins us from Sydney in Australia. Nigel, welcome to Health Professional Radio.
Thank you very much.
Now, Nigel, can you give us some insight into what it is that ChildFund does?
Yes, ChildFund's an international development organisation or an aid organisation, so we undertake projects in developing countries throughout Asia, the Pacific, and through the wider ChildFund group in Africa and in Central and South America. Child-focused development programs to improve conditions for children, to reduce poverty and to advance their rights. So that's typically education, healthcare, water sanitation, child protection, and so on.
And for the benefit of those who are listening to us from maybe elsewhere in the world, just what is the geographic footprint you service? Yeah,
so for ChildFund Australia, our main priorities are Southeast Asia and Papua New Guinea and the wider Pacific nations. So Vietnam, Cambodia, Laos, Myanmar, these are high priority countries. But we also have programs and support programs in other parts of Asia, Indonesia, Timor, Philippines, Sri Lanka, and for us, priorities in East Africa, so in Kenya, Uganda, Zambia, and Ethiopia.
So it's quite an extensive, almost worldwide footprint in terms of underdeveloped countries.
Yes, the ChildFund Group is a global organisation, and altogether, all of the ChildFund organisations, because Australia is one of 12 organisations which make up the ChildFund Alliance, working altogether in about 55 countries in Asia, Africa, and Pacific, and the Americas.
I see. Now, I have to confess that I'm not familiar with your history and achievements as an organisation. Do you want to sketch those in for us?
Yeah, look, the ChildFund's actually been around a very long time. It used to be known as CCF for many years. It started, in fact, way back in the 1930s, late 1930s in China, responding to children who were orphaned and starving during the conflict in China in 1938-39, and has grown steadily and extensively since that time. So it as I say, it now works throughout all the developing regions of the world and about 55 developing countries. And the work is very much about undertaking long-term development projects which work in partnership with local communities. Usually they're poor rural communities in most of the places where we work. And the projects are involved in improving education, health services, access to water, improved nutrition and improved diet and food security. But also ChildFund is very involved in emergency relief. So when local or major emergencies strike, like the Nepal earthquake or cyclones that we've seen in Philippines, ChildFund is always there involved in emergency response. But look, I think it's fair to say, Wayne, we don't have a high profile. We generally haven't put a lot of effort into the publicity.
Yeah. Where do you get your money from? Where does the funding come from for ChildFund?
The funding comes from private donations. We do have a child sponsorship program. Many people are often familiar with the World Vision model of child sponsorship. It's somewhat similar to that, and that provides funding for community projects which assist children in these communities, but also other donations from the Australian public. Some Australian government funding through the Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade, but the ChildFund Group, so other ChildFund organisations like in Korea and New Zealand, provide support as well for our work in Asia and the Pacific.
Now, I understand you've just been doing some work in Papua New Guinea. Tell us about that.
Yes, I've just returned from Papua New Guinea, and ChildFund's been working in Papua New Guinea for more than 20 years, and most of the time our work is focused on our core areas of education, health, food and water. But in recent years, we, like many organisations, have become really concerned about the levels of violence against women and children in Papua New Guinea. And so last week we were commencing a number of new projects, most notably a telephone counselling line, mainly designed for women to call in, women who are experiencing domestic violence to be able to call in and receive information, counselling and support. But also it's available to men, and it's available to other callers for other reasons. So it's, for the first time, a free call national telephone counselling hotline.
That would be, I would think, a revolutionary support mechanism in Papua New Guinea.
It's the first time there's support of this type available right across the country, and we do have really well-trained counsellors, and there's been a lot of investment made in making sure that the counsellors are well equipped, well skilled in the difficult work that they have, and so the counsellors are taking calls from women and some men around the country. And although the service system is still very limited in most parts of Papua New Guinea, there are some local services and some local support, either through government or through the church or through other NGOs. So as much as possible, the counsellors are seeking to link the callers to local services and local resources.
Very, very admirable work, I think. Now, Nigel, how can our listeners get in touch with you?
Look, we'd love for listeners to learn more about ChildFund, and some may wish to support our work. And the easiest way is to go to our website, which is ChildFund, one word, childfund.org.au.
Now, I'm forever getting in trouble for mentioning phone numbers and websites and not giving people enough notice to pick up their pencils. So fair warning, everyone, pencils ready. That website address is www.childfund, all one word, childfund.org.au, and that's your best way to get in touch with my guest today, Nigel Spence, the CEO of ChildFund Australia. Nigel, thank you for your time today. It's been a pleasure chatting with you.
Thanks very much, Wayne. Thanks for your interest.
If you've just joined us, then you've just missed my chat with Nigel Spence, but the good news is we have a transcript on our website at www.hpr.fm. You can also listen to an audio archive of our conversation, both on SoundCloud and on YouTube, and you can access that through our website as well. This is Health Professional Radio. My name is Wayne Buckler.